Yes, this is something that I've had a hard time with since I've been on almost 4 years on the board, and I still haven't gotten an answer for it, but we're supposed to affirm that every teacher that's on this has taken the oath to the Constitution. But we have never received like a checkbox that said that they took it. We've never received any information that they have done it. So every month we have to vote on it, on something that I have no clue that they've actually done. I mean, I trust the staff to say that they have the right certifications, but I have never seen anybody take the oath to the Constitution, and I don't have their signature saying that they took it. I don't have a checkbox. I don't have anything. So that's why every month I vote no on the consent agenda, because I don't have something in front of me that tells that they have done it, and I'm not going to vote on something that I can't see. So my vote would still be a no, because I can't see that they took the oath to office, or oath to the Constitution.
I think in the past, we've had the conversation about this being an online portal, and it will not advance without that person acknowledging the oath is presented on the screen. They acknowledge that they've taken the oath, and they submit online, and as we receive that submission, their names appear before the board for approval. So I'm not in their living room or wherever that oath is presented on their screen, but when they indicate that they are moving on, we know that they've indicated that because we receive their submission.
So what you're saying is we could develop a policy for them to take the oath and check a box, and that could be presented in our board packet.
I don't think so. This statute that requires the county board to issue the temporary county certificates is completely untethered to the licensing process, and it's untethered to the hiring process from the school boards. It's frankly a little bit of a mystery why it's there, but it's there, and the only option that the board has is to vote yes or no.
Well, I would say that you're wrong, because if you go back through history and you go back to when we only had one superintendent in the county, and his only job was to make sure that they took the oath to the Constitution and make sure that they were credentialed to work in Shasta County. It was a lot smaller back then. Maybe there was not very many teachers, and you had one room teacher in the school, and that would be Mike's sole responsibility to make sure that they took the oath and that they had the proper credentialing. As time evolved, teachers actually are the ones that made sure that they had the right credentials and took the oath, and then it evolved into what we have now. So it's not a formality. We are saying that these people took the oath to the Constitution. So how can you vote on something if you've never seen it and they'll never provide it? You guys asked them to provide it, and they're not going to provide it to you. How am I supposed to vote that they took the oath if they can't provide you the information and you guys can't provide me the information?
Done it.
Okay. Well, they're just not providing it, so I'm fine with voting on it now. I'm just going to vote no because they won't provide the information that's required.
Is there any other discussion? All right, can I get a motion to approve 7.2.1?
I will make a motion to approve it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Teresa. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no?
Nope.
How many voted no?
3.
So 3 noes and 2 ayes. Okay.
I would just like to make a plea to the board to consider going back and revisiting item 7.2.1. You know, sitting here talking about the staffing shortages and the initiative that we have and wanting to form an ad hoc that we can do everything that we can to make sure that we have enough staff in classrooms. When you look at that temporary credentials list, we're talking about special education teachers, we're talking about speech pathologists, and we have 35 people on a list right now that are expected to be awarded a temporary credential because they have met the criteria as established by the state. And what has to this point been a procedural thing of having it on the county board agenda, it gets approved, There is nobody right now at a school district or somebody who's on that list who thinks that they're not going to have their temporary credential approved where they cannot be in the classroom. And at the beginning of school is one of the most important times that school districts are able to fill these positions. And you think about what that 35 credentials really represents across our county and what the impact will be on schools if they don't have those temporary credentials. We have districts from across the county on that list. Igo Ono may have found their needle in the haystack, and they did a 2-month bridge to get the person who wanted to get the credential to work in that school, and they don't have any other options. And so what I would say specifically to you, Trustee Gorman, is I apologize, right? I apologize that if I did not take your no votes for the last year seriously enough. I thought that last year when we had this conversation, I had asked the question to the California Teacher Commission on credentialing, and that I got the answer that was, we can't have the information, they handle all of that stuff, and they just tell if somebody's eligible. What I will tell you right here, right now, is that I am committed to leaving no stone unturned in the next month so that we can come back with, is there a process that we can absolutely verify that these folks have taken the oath? But please do not punish the districts and the people that are on that list, hardworking people in our community that have worked hard to become eligible for a credential that they think is just procedural at this point, and that kids in classrooms are expected to have a teacher, a special education, a speech pathologist in the next week, because I did not leave no stone unturned when you raised that flag earlier this year. And so I own that, and I would just ask this board to consider taking action on revisiting 7.2.1.
Yeah, I don't want anybody without a job and our kid without a teacher. And it sounds like the school district has the oath. They provide something like that, and the teacher is actually working at the school already. So why is it that perhaps the school district can't provide that to us?
And I think that's, Trustee Gorman, where like I'm committed to like I told you before, I went to the CTC, kind of find out a little bit about the process, and I kind of came back and said, well, they won't provide it to us, let's move on, right? I apologize for not leaving any stone unturned when this was originally raised, and that's on me. And what I'm saying is I am committed to doing the work to make sure that we explore every viable pathway to ensure that you have the information that you feel comfortable knowing that those employees took the oath. And I'm asking that you revisit 7.2.1.
Provide a signature page that goes with an oath.
Then we could verify. Yes, that's what.
That's a lot, right? That's a lot.
That's why we're elected.
Okay.
That's why we're voting on it. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be here.
Yeah, I'm just
wouldn't
asking
be
for
on it.
consideration of 7.2.1 tonight to give us 30 days to work hard to find a solution on this, because I think it's important enough. When we talk about impact of decisions that come out of this boardroom, particularly as it relates to districts, 35 credentials not being approved at tonight's board meeting at the start of the school year is going to be devastating for districts in terms of what they're going to have to do to get people in front of students. And so I just want to make sure that all of you know that you have my full commitment, that I will do everything to explore the possibilities of how we can get you the verification that you need to feel comfortable doing that moving forward.
So, oh, sorry, Otto, do you have more?
Well, I was just going to comment. In the beginning of this, it was procedural, and this didn't really matter. And Tom was like, hey, this doesn't really matter. You guys have no jurisdiction over it. We voted no. It appears now that we have jurisdiction over it. It's like, I haven't had jurisdiction over it for 4 years. Now we have jurisdiction because we voted no once. So I'm just saying, I want these people to go to work. I'm with you on that. I just want a process. Until this was voted no, it was never important enough to ask us to revisit it. So I'm thankful that you're going to revisit. I'm thankful that you're going to work hard, and we can get these people to work. I'm amicable to having these people go to work, but I just need to make sure that they took the oath of office, because you're asking me every month that I know that these people took an oath to office, and I don't know that they did. I'm just letting you know. My wife is a teacher. I know she took the oath of office. I don't have a signature over here that says she did, but I'm voting every month to make sure that these people have the proper credentials and that they took the oath of office.
Mr. Gorman, I appreciate your desire for rigorous oversight and that the oath is very important, but it is given twice at least. The districts have it in their personnel file, It's something that is, I can't say it's 100% compliance, but it's just one thing that's in everyone's personnel file, just like a fingerprint background check. And this body is not a hiring body, so that's why I don't believe that you are being asked to certify the fitness in any respect of these persons. The CTC is certifying their fitness, that they're qualified, that they've got education, that they've taken the oath. The districts are certifying that they meet the qualifications for employment, fingerprinted, taken the oath. All of those things are being done by the CTC and the hiring district. I don't believe this board is being called upon to do anything other than approve the issuance of the very temporary county certificate, which does have an important role, even though it's a short bridge. So I don't see that other county boards are saying, well, now I want to check the fitness of these applicants.
That's what we were voted in to do. That's why this exists. That's what the history of all this is. That's why we're here. I mean, I disagree with you completely on that. We wouldn't be here. You wouldn't need us. You could have just a bureaucratic system that rubber stamps everything. The CTE could be us. You don't need an elected representative. You could just have CTE. You could just bypass the people. The reason why they put the people here, a representative, is so that we were responsible for making sure people take the oath of office, oath to Constitution, and get their proper credentials. We're relying on you guys that they have the proper credentials. We don't have their credentials listed in here in their ed file. We don't have any of that in here. We're just believing that our staff is doing the right work. And now we're just believe that a bureaucratic system is doing the right work too. So let's just vote on it. Or we could spend here all night. I'm like, I want these people to get to work, so I'll vote to get them to work, but I'm not voting on that they took the oath of office, because I still don't have it. But I'll vote to make them go to work.
Discussion. Jackie.
I'm just going to make a comment. What you see playing out, unfortunately, is we've been status quo in public education in this nation for 60 some odd years, and we've been floating along, rubber stamping, and the results are horrendous. And unfortunately, if we don't start doing things differently, which I know sometimes hurts, nothing's going to change. That's right. I too want those people to be at work. Of course, everybody that's qualified and wants to be there, I want them there. But unfortunately, what we've seen is that doesn't always happen. We get unqualified people. We get dangerous people around our students. And I know change is hard, and saying no and doing things differently, voting against CSBA, that's hard. But if you're not producing the outcomes that we want, I don't have to say yes to you. So I'm okay revisiting it. And I hear what you're saying, Austin, and I don't want that either. But I want the right people and safe people and people that are taking their oath seriously as much as possible if I'm going to be asked to vote on it.